Shots fired. Shots fired. He's shooting at us. Back out. They're shooting it off. Back off.
Back to that breaking news report at the beginning of our newscast here in Northeast Seattle. Witnesses say a carjacking suspect is dead after a crime spree.
He was shot near 35th Avenue and 70th Street Northeast. Now, KORSAN.F 7's Deborah Horn is there live. Deborah, the mayor and police chief just came out to update you on that investigation.
Lindsay, they came out about an hour ago because they said they wanted to reassure people in this neighborhood that despite what you are seeing, that this is a safe place. In fact, they wanted to ensure that everybody knows that this was caused by one man. Now, they are trying to figure out exactly who this man is. They say right now all they know about him is that he is a 30-year-old white male. But he is a person who led them on carjacking, a chase. All of it began in Belltown, but it ended here in Wedgwood. Now, many people saw this because this is a neighborhood that was full of people. And as you might guess, because of all of this, this neighborhood is still on edge. Dozens of people saw the car being chased on what was otherwise a quiet Sunday in Wedgwood.
There's a guy in a black Camaro going about 100 miles an hour, came up over this way around by the country club, and there was shots fired up there. The Camaro driver was still on the move, with Seattle police officers not far behind.
The black Camaro coming straight at us, and it was jumping the hills as it was coming down. and the police officers were chasing.
They were also ending up in crashes. These two patrol cars were smashed on 35th Avenue Northeast, just a few feet from where Henry Smeltzer was waiting in his truck, hoping to stay out of the Camaro driver's way.
He was just swerving left and right all over the road, and when he swerved right, that's when he kind of clipped the corner of my truck and took out the taillight, the bumper. The side panel is going to need some work on it.
They finally caught up to him over here on 35th, and an SPD unit actually did a great job and hit his bumper. I guess he spun out of control here, and that's when they caught him right here on 35th.
It was there that Seattle police say the man got out of his car, opened fire, and they returned it. What'd you hear?
Pop, 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 pop.
That sent Roberta Ray and several people inside the University Unitarian Church to the floor.
We didn't know if somebody might be attempting to come in the church.
In fact, there were concerns all around here. This shooting actually happened right in front of the library. Inside that church, there was more than one group meeting. In fact, there was a memorial service going on as well. Now, Seattle police say that they have a lot of work to do. They have to figure out who this man was. They don't even know how many officers were involved in shooting him. They say 11 officers ended up here in this shootout, but they do not know which ones were involved. So they have several teams here investigating this as they still try to sort out what happened, why this man did this, and more importantly, why it all ended up here in what should and ordinarily is a quiet neighborhood. Reporting live in Seattle's Wedgwood neighborhood, Deborah Horn, Cairo 7 News.
All right, Debbie, a lot more to investigate. In the middle of this crime spree, that carjacker ran right into the tennis center at the University of Washington.
Cairo 7's Graham Johnson is there live tonight. And Graham, you talked with one of the suspect's victims.
I did, Lindsay, and witnesses tell me that this carjacker, ran in here twice. He entered first to the tennis center quietly. The second time, though, he walked in waving two pistols and demanding car keys.
It's surreal, to say the least.
Adam Tratt had brought his kids to the Nordstrom Tennis Center at the University of Washington for lessons. They were sitting in the lobby when the carjacker burst in and demanded keys.
He said a swear word, and I was like, whoa. And then my dad said, get out of here, and I ran to the bathroom.
14-year-old Ben and 11-year-old Ava locked the door behind them.
I knew something bad was happening.
Adam Tratt and 3 other adults stayed as the man waved around 2 pistols.
He was pointing them kind of like this. He was acting erratically. It was clear that he was not in a good emotional state at all.
Tratt realized the safest choice was to give the man what he wanted.
You know, I think we were all in sort of stunned disbelief, not really sure what was happening, and you know, I didn't really, you know, I kind of waited for him to divert his glance because I didn't want him to do anything crazy, and I knew I had my keys right in my jacket pocket, so I was able to flick them across the floor.
The carjacker asked Tratt where his vehicle was. Tratt pointed to his minivan. The guy got in and tore off across the lawn, leaving behind deep marks. No one in the tennis center was hurt.
I think it's just so sad that people are, one, that desperate that they would make such horrible choices, and 2, that my kids have to live in a world where it's so easy for people to get guns that, you know, when they're going through tough times, that they can go around threatening others.
When I spoke with him, Adam Tratt was on his way to find out the condition of his minivan. He went out of his way to praise the staff members here at the UW Tennis Center, saying they acted quickly, putting the place into lockdown. Live at the UW tonight, Graham Johnson, Cairo 7 News.
Across the city.
And before I know it, there's this black Camaro, and he's driving toward me at like 90 miles an hour.
Several police vehicles ended up being damaged, including this unit, when the officer tried to stop the fleeing suspect with a pit maneuver.
But then I heard a couple crashes behind me, and that's when the guy slammed into, I could see at least 2 SUVs here, and they were completely disabled.
Henry Smeltzer had his own pickup damaged when the suspect hit his truck trying to outrun pursuing officers.
I didn't even see him before he hit me. He hit the side of my truck, and then he was swerving left and right all over the road.
But the high-speed chase wasn't the worst of it.
All of a sudden, I hear gunshots start going off.
Probably over 30 shots that I heard.
Josue Guerra heard the shots from inside his house, then rushed outside to help pull Smeltzer out of his damaged truck and get him to safety.
But as soon as I heard like a gap between the gunshots, I went over and grabbed him and took him into my apartment so he would be okay.
It appears at least one officer may have been injured. Medics loaded the officer into an ambulance at one of the many accident scenes. Police say they took the suspect into custody on 35th Avenue Northeast at Northeast 70th Street, ending a wild and dangerous day.
I don't know. I'm still kind of speechless right now.
Well, back here live, the department has sent out its force investigation team to gather evidence. Police say there could be other traffic tie-ups in the area as they go out and collect evidence from the various crime scenes. And as for that gunman, police have only released that he was in his 30s. Reporting live here in Seattle, Joel Marino, KOMO News.
All right, Joel, thanks for the update.
Today, we've learned the man behind Sunday's carjacking and wild chase here in Seattle was shooting at police as he drove across town. Tonight, the 11 officers who fired back, killing him, are on paid leave. And KORSAN.F 7's Allison Grande spent today retracing the suspect's trail and is live at SPD headquarters.
Dave, we're live outside SPD headquarters here because they told us they might have more information to release about the suspect tonight. Now, those detectives are piecing together evidence from crime scenes spread across the city and also interviewing those 11 officers. The suspect was at Pike Place Market before the carjackings and shootout. The first call to 911 was made by a barista at Storyville Coffee. The barista said the suspect's behavior was suspicious. A customer saw he had a gun. They called 911 and he took off.
I thought we were getting robbed.
James Sykes was working at Under the Needle, a tattoo shop in Belltown.
The guy kicked open the door and I thought he was just being a jerk. So I was going to ask him to leave and walked up to him and he pulled 2 pistols out of his pockets. Like 2 big black guns with chrome tops.
Instead of a robbery, he was looking for an escape out the back door. Police say the suspect carjacked the driver of this red Volkswagen, drove to the Montlake neighborhood and entered the UW Tennis Center, where Adam Tratt was waiting with 2 of his children.
He said, "Give me your keys," and he took out 2 pistols and waved them around. And I told my kids to run.
We ran down to the bathrooms. I locked the door.
And I grabbed my keys and I threw them across the room. And then he asked me what kind of car, and I pointed to my car and he took off.
He tried to carjack a woman at this Shell gas station in Ravenna. He did carjack the driver of a Camaro. As police chased him, he started shooting in Wedgwood. Officers struck his car to stop him. 11 officers fired shots and killed the gunman.
Could have been a lot worse, yeah. Luckily, nobody here got hurt.
And we're working to learn more about that gunman. The medical examiner's office is not releasing his identity until they contact his family.